Okay, I think we're all ready to go. Let's have a little look-see. FOIP, no. No, thank you. Ah. That would be nice. Still. So yes, hello! Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome. Use positions offset. It's fine, I have an auto to recalibrate. Disable while you're aimed. Yes, disable. Yes. Enable rolling seats. Yes. Enable rolling lift. Yes. Yes, but we're not having that. Disable. Just trying to figure out where the I mean, that's really cool how they have all the different things. So, yes, hello. Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome back to Star Citizen. Today, we are hopping on the verse with the Vulture. And in addition to the Vulture, we are going to be playing with the... We're going to be playing with TrackIR. Now, I know a lot of people talking about the Tobii eye tracking software, and at some point, I will go with the Tobii eye tracking software, but at the moment, it's really expensive. So I will go with the thing that I paid a fair penny for already, which is just as reliable a system, he says, praying. The copium flows through me. So yes, a little bit of Star Citizen just to get ourselves ready to go. So it's the main objective for today's session will be the... Just looking at the streaming thing. Yeah. So today's session will be primarily aimed towards scrapping or scrooping. And we're just going to be flying around various points. I'm going to be flying over to Microtech as I kind of wanted to explore. Actually, let's explore around the aerial location, Area 18, because there's a couple of locations I want to kind of go there and see if we can get some scroop. I don't know if or how efficient the whole scrooping system's going to be with the whole it won't nudge shit out the way, but this is all experimentational, because bearing in mind 318.1 to 318.2 is going to be another full wipe. So when 318.2 drops, that's when we're going to start really earning our bucks. So as a result, all of the stuff we're doing in this patch is more or less training for the next sort of big old wave. So, all in all, things are looking to be quite fun. Also, this is the last day of the free fly, so hopefully that means the servers are in a slightly more stable state. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome to have new players come to Star Citizen. Always want to welcome new people in, but there are times where it's like, I need my servers. Just give me my servers. Anyway, so we'll be hopping into the verse to have a good old crack at that. I have to admit, I have also gotten, I also have a pretty funky looking skin for my Vulture, because hell yes to the Vulture. I love the Vulture. Like, it's a really cool ship. I mean, I'm no Drake fanboy. I'm more of a Crusader lad myself, but I am in love with the aesthetical style of things of that. It is a very good ship, and I very much enjoy seeing what the ship can do. So it is quite an experience. Yeah, we got the music. Means we're loading. The loading screen doesn't actually load. It sounds weird. It basically, if you keep hearing the music, so if you don't hear any music, it's not quite loading fully. If you're hearing the music, it means, aha, we're actually getting somewhere. There is progress being had, and it's not just crashed. Love it when you can talk about that in that regard. But still. Little bit of a long loading time today, though I'm wondering if it's because I'm streaming. It's always a possibility. Always is a bit of a possibility. Still, we're having a good old time. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time too. I'm going to disable Discord. Oh, hello. Right, close that down. Get that process down as well. It is taking a while. It is taking quite a while to load in. I'm kind of curious. I know I'm alt-tabbing a bit, so could be a reason. But I was able to load in before while streaming, so I know it's always doable. Just this game being a pain in the arse. Most likely. Because the thing is, God, I'm going to have to try and figure out if there's a way we can save the profile. Like, if I can save the profile thing, and rather than doing the whole full wipe. Because it's like there's a few controls that I kind of want to not have to reset every time I load in, but I'm fearing I may have to do that. So it's taking a while. Is it crashing? Music's not playing, and I am suspicious. Worst case scenario, we always have another game to hop over to. Worst case scenario. Taking a rather long time to hop into the server. Oh, there we go. Hey, Grand Admiral Steele. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a wonderful time. Why can't I turn off the chat? No! No! I don't want to listen to the chat. Can I just mute the chat? Yes. Can I disconnect? Hang on, I have a better idea. Like, I'm wanting to switch to this channel. Like, there's a button, it's not working, and I do not want to... Oh, thank the Emperor. Right, good. So for some reason, my comms button isn't working, but that's okay. Oh, I know why it's not working, because of TrackIR. Bet you now it's because of that. Shouldn't do. Yes, I am aware of the software. I'm aware it's running, but why is it minimized in the background? It's fine. It's fine. I'll just deal with it. God forbid you want to try and run smegging TrackIR. Like, the thing is, I already had set the settings so that it wouldn't do that. But you know what? It's fine. We'll roll with it. I've turned off the chat. We don't need to deal with the French anymore. That's the scary thing. We've dealt with it. So welcome to the stream. We're going to be doing some fun times with the Scroop monster, known as the Vulture. Can I call it the Scroop monster? I'd like to call it the Scroop monster. And trialing out, as we've been clearly seeing with our service. Right, we need to buy food, don't we? Because we're going to be rolling in... Yeah. And I'll take some self-defense because when in doubt, better hide. Better get some extra ammo. There we go. Should be good. I think there's a store we can buy some additional magazines. I think. But yeah, so today we're going to be rolling and experimenting with the Vulture. Now, I have done a little bit of practice with the Vulture initially, like when I hopped on for the first time. But at the same time, I also have just been kind of... Yeah, pretty much. Grab all the pew-pew, the bang-bangs, and whatnots. I will fire. Yes, just grab a Victor Salt Spy. Everyone doing the yep, that I approve. I approve of that. God, that'll be brilliant, wouldn't it? Just hire Victor Salt Spire from Warhammer, from Vermintide. It'll be like, right, Victor, can you just hold the line? The verminous Skaven will not do anything to Barbarous, that filthy claws. Because Victor Saltspire and Sigma will defend your vessel until the death of all. No verminous Skaven shall touch this ship. Ah. Right, looks like there's no ship, which kind of sucks. Well, no weapons platform, so kind of sucks, but I'll just hop around. Like, we've got, like, ammo, and I'm not going to be going in first person, so it's unlikely we'll be boarded. If anything, we'll be shot out of the sky. Do. Exactly. I'm still loving the fact that I smile now every time I see that. Do you know what's really, though, irritating? I can't store this. I can't place this down. It's not letting me put this in the fucking trash. There should just be an option. Yeah, I have to drop it. Not through my own actions. I will hasten to add. Wait, if I put this here. Wait, I have an idea. If I put this in my inventory and carry it. Right, and then I go to... Yes! I can put it in the bin. There you go. Perfect. Remember, always put your trash in the bin. Don't litter. I'm not littering! Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't realize there was a massive delay. There is a bit of a delay. See? Besides, we can turn it into Scroop later on.
Vehicle retrieval system. Vehicle selected. Stand by.
Ooh, we got it. Right, we are going to get to go to our little old Scroop monster. So, I will say the Drake Vulture is probably one of my favorite vehicles. Like, it's not my favoritist vehicle, but it's my more favorite vehicle. Because grammar is amazing. So, I also have a really fucking cool skin for it. Come check it. So in like the vanilla version of this ship, it's very much a plain yellow, which is good. It's reasonable. It's also very much similar to what the EVE Online game is. But this, this is fucking glorious. I love it. It is a very nice thing. Shut up, game. I don't give a shit. Like, we need to talk about your addiction to industrial vehicles. The timing. The fucking timing on that. Oh, God. Oh, there we go. We have TrackIR. There we go. Check it. Oh, I love doing this. Right, okay. So I'm having to just get the sort of the calibration settings right. So obviously headset positioning can be a little bit affected, so apologies. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. I'll have to... I thought I set the profile to that, but it looks like it's not, so that's okay. Right. I'll have to adjust the thing. So let's get the ship up. Oh, there's my phone going off. So Star Citizen is really cool because it actually allows you to dab apparently whilst in Moby-Glass. But more importantly, it allows you to get a full-on visual, which I really love. And
quantum fuel is at 100%.
So again, it gives you that full freedom to kind of do whatever you want, sort of thing, which is great. The only thing you have to kind of be careful of, and this is something that, of course, you can adjust on the fly depending on like your personal preference or settings, is how you look around. So obviously, in my case, I have to be careful not to move my head around, because you don't realize how much you move your head around until you have a head tracking software, because it traces every little nuance on how you sort of sit there, if you will. So, but no, for the extra immersion, it is 100%. Oh yes, no, we will be doing a full ship tour. What I'll do is I'll get us out of this area where there's lots of players. I'm going to try and find a place to land. We will find a place to go to, because again, this is just about exploring what this thing can do. So,
thank you, and please visit again.
Okay, so what we're going to go to is... I can't wait till they implement the new map. Is it Lyria or Walla? So that's Icy Moon. We'll go Walla. Walla Walla Bing Bang. Ooh ee, ooh ah ah, ting tang, Walla Walla Bing Bang. I told the witch doctor I was in love with him. And then the witch doctor, he told me what to do. He told me quantum to Walla and do some more scrooping. With your Scroop monster, ding dang, walla walla bing bang. Told me ooh ee, Scroop watcher, ding dang, walla walla bing bang. Ooh ee, ah ah, ding dang, Scroop bing bang. Yep, I am not sorry for killing you with that horrible joke. But yeah, so I will show you the process of scrooping. Now, you may be wondering what I mean by scrooping. Well, basically, scrooping is a term from the video game Foxhole. And in Foxhole, you can play in Logi, where you gather scrap to convert it into resources like weapons, ammunition, vehicles, building materials, all sorts of things. And there's a terminology known as scrooping, where you say, I'm going to go scroop for a few hours. And you're just gathering scrap, and some people even have their entire game sessions just being gathering scrap, putting it into resource containers, and then it's not this. This is why I kind of wanted to go for something else. Oh, Logi vids. You know, I was actually wanting to do some Foxhole Logi in the next war. Actually, let's go to the let's go mining area, see if we can do something. How far are those apart? Well, they're not that far apart, actually, so that makes more sense. Yeah, we can do that. And they're on the day side of it. I did think about doing Foxhole Logi videos. I've done a few I've played a fair amount of Foxhole Logi in Foxhole. It is surprisingly addictive. The problem is, and it's a very important warning, you do get the Logi bug. Like... You think the point, like the greatest thing about Foxhole is you can in fact spend the entire freaking game doing nothing but Logi. Like you can spend the entire time just, scrooping, trucking, all sorts, never having once pulled the trigger. And for some people that sounds extremely boring, but to me, because I've caught the Logi bug, that's really fucking scary. Oh, dude, I am not a big YouTuber by the stretch of the imagination. Dear God, no. I appreciate your compliment. Thank you very much for saying so, please do not assume I am any big YouTuber. Christ almighty, I am a thimble YouTuber, if anything. But thank you very much for the kind words. I mean, I said I definitely will consider doing some Foxhole stuff, because I do want to play Foxhole in the next war. So having a sort of thing. It's just, I wouldn't know what to do, because it is just literally, and possibly one of the most boring bits of content you could potentially do, because literally all you're doing is you're going to a field, getting a hammer in the early stages of the war, a sledgehammer in the mid stages of the war, or one of those Scroop trucks near the end stages of the war. So you're not really doing anything that's sort of dramatic or whatever, and you're just trying to makeshift. Yeah, true. Like, I'll tell you one thing. If there's one thing about I like about Foxhole, and it's not really talked about much, is the time as time goes by, a specific region that you're driving Logi through becomes steadily more built up. So, for example, you can go to a defensive point and say there's like, I can't try to remember, like Lockmore, there's a town called Fermor, I think. Or it's the sector of Fermor. And basically, the area around it at the beginning of the game is just loads of roads. There's some, occasional houses that were there at the beginning of the war. And there's maybe a couple of, like, bunker buildings. There's maybe, like, a couple of trenches. Nothing too severe. And then as time goes by, you start seeing more and more structures, more and more trenches, more and more defensive emplacements, bunker positions, gun ports, artillery pieces, full-on trench systems with logistic-backed buildings on the side. All of these wonderful things, which just goes to show effort and time being spent on them. And then with the introduction of the railroad system, we're now probably going to start seeing loads of rail lines being implemented into that. So there's a whole host of different sort of things to sort of witness and build. And I love that. That is quintessentially one of the more awesome things. Oh, this is perfect. Right. I think we should land this thing. Give you the full tour. So, like, for me, playing Foxhole Logi, it's a really awesome experience to just be there whilst all of this stuff is going on in the background.
Landing complete.
Okay, that was not my best landing.
Engines offline.
Right, if I were to do this... how do I get out of this way? I think I have to just exit like that. But yeah, you will find the player-made bases and how everything all kind of works together. It's a really awesome experience, to say the least. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a bit of a full tour of the Drake Interplanetary, Vulture, because this is a beautiful ship. So the Drake Interplanetary Vulture is one of the first, well, the first new ships being built for salvage in mind. There is, of course, the Reclaimer, but the ship has been in the game since, oh god, it's of many patches now. Like, I think it was like 3 point or 2 point something or other. So Drake, Vulture, tools. So yeah, basically, the Drake Vulture is a one-man salvage ship with the capacity of 12 SCUs worth of cargo, stowage, yes, about that. Her maximum speed, according to the wiki, is 1,114 meters per second, combat speed 165, and her mass is about 114,591 kilograms. Not really important factor, but you never know. It's a Drake Interplanetary. It's a ship that is not... To be fair, despite Drake Interplanetary's reputation for having duct tape and prayers be the main sources of design for their ships, this ship actually does look like a pretty solid piece of kit. You have two salvage lasers. I'm going to assume these are both size 1s. Bulldog repeaters. Yep, size 1s. Which are attached with a gimbal system... or salvage head gimbal. It says here. So there's two size 2 salvage heads with one size 1 cinch scrapper module. So I don't know whether that's... these possibly could be size 2s. So what's the... unless that's... okay, so I think what it might be is these two are in fact size 2. And that the crumpler in the center is a size 1. Going by the wiki here. But yeah, basically these things are wonderful because they can allow you to scroop and do quite a nice bit of gathering. Now, the thing that I am unsure of, and this is why we're going to be experimenting here, is how we're going to be able to logistically fix this, how we're going to be able to logistically work this. Because if we go towards the back of the ship, you have two sectors of the buttons. And as you can see, we have a nice little cargo galleyway. I said you only have 12 SCUs worth of cargo, which is this little cargo bay along the side here. But so there's not really a lot of room in this particular thing, but there is enough room for you to do something pretty It's not really. It's not a huge amount of room, but it's enough for you to sort of get started. Bearing in mind, this is kind of the starter vulture ship. So, in terms of cost, the ship in Pledge it's not available in the game yet. It's only time limited. It's time limited sales, really. I got well, to be fair, it might be. So, standalone, it costs you about $175, and the war bond is about $150. You can upgrade at this moment, though it might be a time-limited sale option, though I would imagine, hopefully in the near future, you'll probably be able to get this thing inside the verse. Of course, you could fit a rover in the storage. Dude, we measure rover storage. You could probably fit about 1, 2, 3. I would estimate about 3 to 4 in order to comfortably fit inside. If you're pushing it, actually, no, I'd say 4. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, $150 is not bad considering, considering the fact that the Prospector, which is Misk's version of the first minor vessel, I believe is around the same price, if not slightly more. But let me just go quickly research that just to be efficient. Oh, of course, I have to full fucking screen it. No, I don't have to full screen it. Yay. No, I do have to full fucking screen it. God damn it. Oh, no, it goes at the bottom. Why would you design it like that? Anyway. Prospector. Yeah. I will say, the Prospector is a very sexy ship. Okay, so the price of the Prospector is, $155. So the Prospector is actually cheaper at the moment, but the original price was about $140. Vulture started at $120. Standalone original. Character. You wanted to do something. My character's like, woo! And just jumps off the fucking GG. Anyway, so yes, the Vulture is slightly more expensive than. Yeah, no. There's a little thing. To be fair, Star Citizen has this is a sugar not sugar mama. She is a gold digger. Straight through gold digger, like without a shadow of a doubt. This game is like, hey, I see you have things. You're not gonna wait. What's that? Oh, that's the remnants of stuff. Wait, hang on. Let me have a look. See, this is why I love this patch. Like people are probably gonna complain about the fact that there's a whole host of rubbish and shit, but I absolutely love this because for me, this does storytelling. This tells me things. This says, hey, someone fucked up. Well, we know it works still. That's fantastic. And can I open this? Yes, I can. Is there anything inside? No. And look at that. Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, again, the point of the... I'll close the canopy, it's fine. Like, the point is, what this tells me is that somebody had an accident here, and it makes it more intriguing. It makes it more interesting to learn about this. Oh, trust me. Well, okay, no. So here's the thing. Oh, hello. Oh, you have medipens. I will loot that. Right, let me loot you. What do you have on you? I will take your arc light pistol. I will take your Odyssey suit because I need it. And is there anything else? Oh, no, I have the entire thing. Oh, yeah, sure. I'll take that. Right. That's my shit. Yeah, Star Citizen. No, so basically, the thing with Star Citizen is it's very much, when it comes to, like, pricing or whatever, yes, people often say that Star Citizen is ridiculous because it's a video game where you pay lots of money for what is essentially pixels. And while, you know, people say, oh my god, thousands of pounds on a pixel, oh! And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So the reason, so when it comes down to it, it does seem extreme, but then at the other end of the scale, it's like, okay, so yes, not gonna lie, the game is, the game has expensive ships. You can pay $1,000 for a particular package, and it may seem, oh, I will take you because I need the drinks. Have they nerfed some of the storage capacity of some things? I hope not. Well, the good news is I am not going to run out of food or water anytime soon, and I will totally take the tractor beam, and I will totally take that. Actually, no, I won't, because there's a really fucking cool thing I'm going to show you. Actually, I'm going to do the same thing on that one, because there's going to be something really cool I'm going to show you. We will take some chocolate bars, though. Like, I'm not ashamed. Right. Oh, no, we're taking the suit with us. That's an Odyssey Alpha suit. That's a pretty good thing to keep. But yeah, no. So the thing is, with Star Citizen... I mean, to be fair, my computer rig isn't... You don't... Oh, okay. You don't need the most amazing computer rig to play this game. People have... Like, it's a demanding game, but you don't need to have, like, the shit-hot computer of the decade. You know, the biggest things I would say that you need to play Star Citizen is a relatively decent graphics card, SSD storage, and more than 16 gigs of RAM. And that's it. None of those things are... It's not like you have to have the best... Like, you don't have to have, like, a 4000 series RTX graphics card. You don't need to have, whatever. I've gone above and beyond because I want to stream, so I do have 64 gigs of RAM. But that's because I want to stream this thing and also play the game at, like, stupid high quality, because I'm just that desperate for it. Let's have a look, see. Is there anything useful in here? Not really. Like, there is stuff. There's food. There's other bits, but I've got stuff here, so that's fine. I'm not gonna need to close that. This is cool. Right. Anyway, let's get going before we spend too long doing stuff. But no, in terms of ship prices, it's actually quite useful because you can basically purchase vessels and ships and, you know, game packages. And then, depending on what you personally enjoy out of those particular things, or above what you want to, you can basically what's known as melt your package, where you, in a sense, you basically kind of melt down what you've got, and then which then turns to store credit. And then you can spend the store credits on standalone items or other types of ships if you want to go for that sort of thing. And at the end of the day, you're basically pledging towards the project. You know, the whole purpose of the ship purchases is that it's a pledge. Holy fuck, that looks amazing. Wow. Sorry, I've never seen that before. That is actually pretty freaking beautiful. I am having that. I'm having that. And that helmet. Ooh, that was a good find. You can probably earn a shitload of money doing this. Like inverse. And what are you? You are terrible looking. That's what you are. You are terrible, terrible looking stuff. I won't do that again, don't worry. So anyway, as you're sort of making your way through towards playing various different things, you are... Yeah, I need to transfer this shit into the back of this ship. So anyway, so as you're making your way sort of through, if you play whatever, you can put little bits of money here and there depending on what kind of package you want to have, and you can upgrade towards different packages depending on your personal preference, which all in all is a nice little way of probably putting you further down the rabbit hole. But still, it's a really nice rabbit hole. They've got pictures and stuff, and suits that look really freaking nice. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. I can't really say, oh, no, it's fine, you'll never get addicted, because it's like, no. This game will... the thing is, you'll look at the price of this ship. Like, the thing I will say that this game does to you is you'll look at a £300 ship, like 300 quid or $300, or, you know, a fairly expensive ship, and go, that's actually pretty reasonably priced. 500 quid. Oh, if I added about 150 more onto it, I could probably get a good deal. Oh, have you seen the thing? Yeah, that's like £700. That's a bargain. And everyone else just looking at you as if you're just gone mad, and you're just genuinely trying to justify this particular £700 purchase of God, they've really gone into the shit, haven't they? Like, someone obviously must have flown into the building or smashed into the thing. Oh god, that's awesome. But yeah, Star Citizen is a game that is just hella fun for, like, I don't know, like, it's a game that, like, when I was about, when I first got into it, it was funny because I watched a video by the Mighty Jingles, who went from really liking the game to being one of the doubters, and for me, like, I never lost that. Like, I have days where I get fed up, or I'm thinking, oh, this game's just always having these problems, and grumble. And I will take the bottle of water, because you can never have enough bottles of water. That's a pretty nice jacket. Don't know what that is, though. What is that? Oh, it's a suit. It's the shit suit. I thought it was... I was wondering what the hell that was. That's a lot of pink flares. Right, so that's just a non-entity. That's fine. We can roll with that. And... ooh, what's this room? What is this room? This is a new room. I have not seen this room before. Open here. What's that? Oh, you tease. Wait, hang on. This looks like something you can interact with in the future. Oh, please don't. Wait, is this the hacking thing? You know what? This looks familiar to a thing I saw a while back when CIG were talking about how they're going to implement hacking stations. That would be cool. Oh, dear God, Emperor, no. No. Alright, fair enough. That looks like a thing to do. But no, so when I originally got into this game, I was kind of admittedly first suckered in by all the wonders. But then I made videos back in 2014 because a friend of mine purchased me a pack, the Aurora, which I was like, oh wow, this game's, and I wasn't really like, I thought, oh wow, this game looks kind of cool, and I played it for a bit, and I thought it was kind of fun, it was kind of enjoyable, and then I kind of put it to bed for a little bit, and then I popped around. Yeah, trust me, you haven't seen the cat ears helmet. There is a legitimate cat ears helmet. I'm not joking. If you want to, you can get it. You'll lose all the respect of everyone around you, and probably your parents, but you can get it. I mean, to be fair, it's all about the Big Benny noodles, to be honest with you. Oh, that's cool, though. I fucking love that. That is seriously cool. I mean, to be fair, this is a really beautiful location. Hey, look, there's a person. Hello. Hello, random person who hasn't... Wait, has he landed properly? Yes, he has landed. Oh, he's a proper noob. Oh, bless. It's like watching a duckling learn how to fly. No. No, let's not ruin his fun by mutilating his armor. Well, Sonny Jim, you gotta pay the tax. What tax is that? The vulture tax. Ah! Oh, God. Anyway, so this is to continue the tour of the ship that I kind of forgot to continue the tour of. This is the cargo room with the salvage mechanic malarkey thing inside. And this thing has, of course, recycled material composite. There's a whole host of other little bits and bobs, which is pretty cool. We have the option to have the ability to open and close the doors. There is a light option, depending on... what kind of, if you want to be power saving, if you're a fan of it or not. I like to have the lights on. And then we take the ladder up into the little cramped living quarters. So there is a living quarters, there is a bed with a sheet. There's also a weapons rack. Wabbits whack. No, there's a suit rack or like storage rack and a weapons rack on the side. And of course, it's fairly cramped. Drake Interplanetary is all about utilitarian. It's always utility. It's always about function. It's always about everything that makes it look horrible. No, to be fair, I actually quite like this. This ship, again, normally Drake Interplanetary has more duct tape lining than before, whereas this ship is finally kind of not so duct tape. Which is kind of nice. But there is a whole host of interactable buttons. You can have the gravity generator. And for context, in the future, we will be able to fuck around with these settings. In fact, in the next patch... yeah. We're going to be able to muck around with these things, which is going to be cool. And, of course, the most important room of all is the shit shower. Because everybody knows what you need to do in space is have a giant dump. Anyway, so we have a whole host of different options to work with, and here is, once again, the pilot seat. So, get going. Weapons. Yes. Right. Anyway, so let us begin. Get the ship online.
Engines online.
And let us do some cool things. So there's another particular functionality of the Scroop thingy, but I'm not going to talk about that. Not yet. Someone exploded. Someone in fact exploded, and there is a looted body. Oh god. There's another body over there. Oh my god. How many bodies are there? Is there another body over there? There's another body over there, I think. Is there another body over there? What the hell? This is more fun now. Like, this game is so much more fun. Oh, it's Ninetales' body. Oh, damn. Maybe there was a Ninetales here. You never know. Right, so this is a Cutlass Black that has lost one of its engines, and I'm guessing has been looted. Oh, God, this game is so much more fascinating to play now because you can go into a ship and learn a story. It is quite chaotic. Like, you're coming over to, like, find out what the hell happened to something. And I know we're supposed to be, like, just doing some scrooping, but I'm, like, desperate to find out if there's anything valuable on that guy. Oh, wow. This is why I love this game. But no, we will scroop. We will scroop. So how you scroop is you press the M button, and the way the current salvage mechanics work is you are basically surface scrooping. So you're basically wading these over the target, and you're scrooping the ship. Now, here's the fun fact. This thing actually has a minimum range to it. Oh, I can't use the scrooper. Are you serious? I can't scroop because it's in an armistice zone. That sucks. That sucks. You suck, game. Oh, that sucks. Okay, we're going to have to find another wreck, which is fine because there's another wreck just in the distance over yonder. So what I'm doing now is I'm avoiding... I spent too long fucking around at the space station, and now it's dark. So... Whoops. So now what we're doing is we're going to avoid smashing into the side of the mountain, because we're using the scanning option. Yeah, true. The thing is, Ninetales, you are right, they are a gang, and they are actually quite a prominent gang within the Stanton system, though they operate more out of Crusader than anything. Yeah, English and grammar is a skill that I do not possess a lot of time for. Right, so that's just a mineable. Where is this ship? That's my question. There's a derelict down there. Oh, hello. Cutlass Black. Oh, don't tell me there's another fucking... Wait, hang on a second. That doesn't look like a... That looks like a small... Unfortunately, as it's quite dark, I can't actually see. Sadly, the lighting on the Drake Cutlass Black is not great, but that's an abandoned settlement there. And there's that people. That's people. Oh god, that's people. Where the fuck am I? Am I anywhere near some people? Like, I'm genuinely confused as to where I am. Am I in a processing area? Yes, there are a couple of badges. Size 1, I think size 2 badges, but I'm more concerned. I'm in a non-armistice area. Are those Ninetales? They don't look friendly. They're not reacting, though. I mean, I've got shields and everything, so unless they turn around with a giant railgun, I should be safe. I'm just imagining coming out of this menu screen now, and there's just one of those fuckers pointing a railgun at me with a shit-eating grin on his face. Right, so what I've just accepted is the call to arms option, or mission, where if I kill people that have got a crime stat on them, I will get paid for it. No, that was me that shot. Right, well, if they don't, you know, as long as they don't do anything to me, I will happily Scroop. That's a 9 tails. Yeah, that's a 9 tails Cutlass Black. So evidently someone was having a duke out session with these guys and they struggle. Yeah, that's mine. So what we're doing here is we're going across the ship. We're filling up our capacity. So as you can see, the ship is losing its frontal mass. Well, the surface layer, I should say. We haven't quite... This is the initial salvage mechanic, if you will. Yeah, I've got a couple of size 2... I think size 2, maybe size... I hope it's size 2. Bulldog repeaters. There's like 2 different types of weapons in this game. You have like ballistics, which are limited in ammo but high in damage. Or you have... energy weapons, which they can regenerate ammunition, so it's in a sense unlimited ammo, but they don't go through the shields. You have to destroy the shields to stop the energy weapons. Weapon system in this games are like kind of complicated in a sense, because what they do is basically, depending on the type of weapon, you either have laser weapons that do more damage the harder they get. You have ballistic weapons that can which will pierce through the shield and hit the armor, finger quote armor, of the ship, so you can still do a shitload of damage. And then of course there's the gimbal system, then the gimbal system is basically how a weapons on a ship aim, or like how accurate they can be. So there's a whole host of different sort of different sorts of points for that one. So what we're doing now is we're trying to see if we can get more yield from this little thing. This is where having multiple players would probably help, because I don't have a tractor beam that can move this large sort of pile of Scroop. So there's going to be a part of the ship that I'm not actually going to be able to salvage unless I manually whack the ship around a bit in a desperate bid to move it. But I probably would end up doing more damage to myself than doing any meaningful attempt to move the ship into a more scrappable position. I mean, we already have larger fleets of players. It's a bit risky. We already have larger fleets of players. I mean, we have over like 100 players. If I'm not mistaken, there's like 100 players right now. Yeah, 94. And the maximum server is like 102. So we are seeing the beginnings of larger scale fleet battles, as well as more advanced, larger ship sort of caliber systems. And with okay, that's a red flag. Alright, lights off. Make ready to scarp it. Okay. Time to scarp it. I mean, he has been on IR record, so...
Contact.
fuck's sake, stand still. And we're safe. Whew. That was close. Oh, that was terrifying. That player might have absolutely nothing wrong with him, but when you see a red symbol in a vulture, you know you got to get the fuck out of there. And I also don't want to lose my ship with my really nice suit on, so rather not take the chance. Oh, I see. Well, okay, to bring you up to speed,
Quantum drive is now.
we're on the tail end of a rough point, definitely. Okay, so we need to go. Is there like an option for OM? There is. Fantastic. So basically, in the last sort of few months, we've gotten a couple of big sort of features inside Star Citizen working now. Primarily, one of them is now the persistent entity streaming, which was introduced in patch 3.18. But unfortunately, 3.18 didn't quite go to plan. Unfortunately, there is... Wait, I'm already there. Why am I no? Is that an OM? No. Is there no other MOMs? Fine, we'll go with the boring, but tried but tested, flying around the planet. So we've got persistent entity streaming now, which means that when a ship lands and crashes onto the side of a planet, it will now stay there for a longer period of time. We had introductions of 100-player servers last year, which was quite a phenomenal achievement, technically speaking, which is pretty cool. What else have we done? We've got improvement to mining? Yes, we've got improvement to server meshing onto missions. So now AI can take part in missions on the ground. They're no longer just limited to bunkers, which is a big thumbs up. So I'd say the big sort of win factors, if you will, are... I'd say the big win factors for the patches lately are probably going to be... It's probably going to be the ability that the AI can now be part of missions on the ground, which is pretty fucking cool. You've also got the added benefit of what else? It's been a while, actually. There's a lot of things have happened, not like grand scale things. I mean, this will definitely be the biggest sort of patch in Star Citizen history, in recent memory, I should say. And it definitely wasn't a pleasant one. We had to wait a long time for 3.18 to drop because there was it was supposed to release in December, I think around December, like November, December last year, and they kept pushing it back. So eventually they kind of was like, okay, we're going to push it. This is definitely going to be this one. And then when they finally released it, it was not that great. So it ended up being a bit of a flare, shall we say? Kind of. But no, they've released 3.18.1 about a week ago. So now, as we're coming up with 3.18.2 on the near horizon, hopefully to be released potentially sometime this week. Potentially, I mean, it's in PTU at the moment, so probably not. It most likely will drop around next week or early May, and that'll probably be around the same time the IAE Expo. Will be, and then of course we have the the Invictus Launch Week festival going on as well, which is going to be quite nice. Of which I do plan to spend a little penny or two, which is pretty cool. I mean, to be fair, I think since Cyberpunk, loads of developers have kind of hopped on the bandwagon of delaying to avoid scrutiny. Because there's been so many video games within the last few years, and to be fair, it's not it's not completely, it's by no stretch of the imagination, like you can understand their reasoning for it, because like with disastrous launches like Battlefield 2042, games like, So with games like, you know, disastrous game launches like 2042, Cyberpunk, what other games that have come out recently that have been absolutely atrocious? There's so many I can't count. But generally speaking, the video game teams have done. Yeah, it makes sense to delay things if it's not working. But the thing is, now that it's working and they're getting the networking all sorted, we can now kind of go. Right. Do not process. It's fine. I'm going to just pop out of the ship. I mean, the main reason what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to be literally dropping the stuff off, spending enough time away from the other ship, refueling, and then I'm going to head over to Microtech. So... Oh yeah, I mean, you don't... Right, so I am dropping off the good shit. Oh, you fucking tit, Jaeger. Jaeger's a retard. I didn't realize that I was putting all of my the supposed really valuable suit into the local inventory of the base area that I had. So I had a really nice suit, but then I put it in the wrong area. I'm putting a thumbs up of sad resignation. Well, it's okay. I got the orbit mining attachment. And also we're getting wiped in the next patch. So in a sense, all I would have done is just clustered up my thing. So it's not a huge loss, but it's a shame. Because it was a really nice suit. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I mean... The thing is, Star Citizen has a bit of a bad history with, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. No, as I said, it's my own fault. I should have paid more attention whilst I was putting it into the local, so it's fine. Again, we're getting a wipe, so in the next like few weeks. So in a sense, all I would have had is like a slightly glamorous suit in sitting and getting dust in my inventory. So in 3.18.2 drops, that's when I would have been even more gutted, because that is when the big wipe's going to happen.
Launch complete.
Can we do a backup? Oh. I can show you the world. Ah! Fucking up. Oh, okay. No. Okay. Down we go. Have I got the gear out? No. Good. Okay, let's quantum to Microtech. Because I want to see what it's like at Microtech. Because I originally intended on being at Microtech for this particular set of missions. But then I kind of... I realized I didn't have the paint over there. Oh, that's right! I almost forgot. Physicalized inventory. That was the other thing that we have now. So physicalized inventory is as pretty much what it says it is. So instead of having, for example, Star Citizen, where you would have an almost infinite amount of inventory space, you now actually have a physicalized inventory of whatever the hell stuff you're gathering. So think Escape from Tarkov. And now, of course, whenever it comes to stuff that's part of your account, so say, for example, you've purchased a ship from the pledge store and you want to put a paint on it. Well, basically now there's a ship with a paint thing on it, but it's it's attributed to your original starting location. What's really cool though is, for example, if you're wanting to find out where the hell your stuff is, you can use the NKN NAX or Nikon NAX, and it basically shows all of the locations of where your stuff is, or where you think your stuff is. So, for example, we know we started at Arc Core. So if we open up, we have all of the different little things here and there There's a whole host of different things because obviously the starting area, I have a fair amount of stuff. So there's a whole host of different things. And where is it? Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Oh, I forgot about that. That's really cool. So there's a whole host of like different kind of weapons and shit, which is pretty nice. And of course little paints. And you can kind of specify certain categories as well, which is... Oh, yeah, there it is. The Star Kitten Helmet. I told you. Though sadly I got that more as a subscriber flare than an actual, like, I bought that with my own eyes sort of thing. But there you go. Dear God, Emperor. At least this one has a kind of cool thing. So yeah, you can basically see all the different sort of sectors that you have stuff in. So if you're ever wondering where stuff is, you can look in for that. But of course the disadvantage of the whole thing is that basically... it can actually result in you forgetting, or it can result in certain circumstances, such as you have to have the ship in the area where your paint is in order for you to apply the paint. Once you've applied the paint, obviously you don't have to worry about, you know, not applying the paint. And it's nice to sort of, what is it? It's nice to, like, manage stuff. Yes, of course. Yeah, the only downside I would say with the Drake Interplanetary Vulture is, sadly, it has a very slow stock quantum engine. So, unfortunately, it will take a few minutes whilst we get there, which is a bit of a shame. But what I will do is take the opportunity that this gives me to rather cheekily go get myself a can of energy drink, because I'm thirsty. And we're going to have a lovely image of my Drake Interplanetary Vulture. And I'm trying to find a good image for it. There you go. There's a good image. And we're going to get to see the underside of my ship lighting up ever further as I sail through the verse. So I will return in a few minutes, well, in a couple of minutes or seconds, with my new drink. And that was my neck. Right, I have returned. Right. So here's a question for you, Mr. Grand Admiral Steele. If you were to play Star Citizen, or if you know, what I say if you were, you will play Star Citizen. One day you will get Star Citizen. But the question I will ask you, what would you do? Would you be a bounty hunter? A man who scours the verse, fighting dangerous threats and evil criminal gangs in the pursuit of a desperate sense of justice, or just desperate sense of greed, knowing that you'll get a fair amount of cash at the demise of your opponents? Or will you be the noble mercenary who will fight for the law and order? Or will you be the evil mercenary who fights for the criminal justice? Or will you be the rigorous trader, the hard trucker who keeps the verse alive with your wears and tears? Will you scrounge and scroop and scravel your way through the worlds with your own little salvage, evil kind of ways, because you know you're going to come across a ship that's not actually kind of destroyed, and the people who are kind of asking you not to destroy their ship by doing it? Or will you be the noble miner who will ruthlessly and desperately, and ruthlessly and without remorse strip the planet bare of its most essential ores, leaving it nothing more than a husk in the verse? And we still have only 32 mil kilometers to go, so, you know. See, if I didn't have the stupid comms thing, because actually I should try and fix that, shouldn't I? Right. Yeah, I know it's active. I want to access it. Right, so that should now fix that problem. Right, we should now have it all working. More importantly... Yes! There you go. I should really record this, shouldn't I? Just this particular little thing to sort of say, we're loading. Okay, I will do this. I'm going to record. Not for long, but this will be a really good sort of starter up. There we go. Like 30 seconds should be safe enough, right? I'll get like a better one when we're traversing backwards, or I'll flip it upside down. There we go. Right, that should be finished on that one. Yeah, I am the same. I like Logi. Like, I have to admit, there's a there's a bit of a weirdness to my logic where it's like I really, really like. Possibly we'll swing to the other side because the sun is unfortunately underneath us. So if you want to have an arse shot of the ship in full glory, there, check it out. But no, like when it comes to ooh, nice and refreshingly cool. No, when it comes to flying in this game, there is something. There's for me the sort of ultimate dream of Star Citizen, and what's kind of kept me going because it's what really is meant. It's what's kind of what made me love this game, is the concept of just coming back from work one day. You know, could be potentially a shit day at work, could be potentially a good day at work, whichever. And I hop onto the chat and I'm like, "Hi guys, where you at?" And they're like, "Okay, we're just over at Sector. You know, we're over at Stanton at the moment because there's some like good minerals being left from something." And I'm like, "You know what? I'll hop on and get onto the prospector. We'll see if we can get some Scroop going. You know, gather some rich materials." And I spend the evening just mining the material out, taking it to one of our refining stations. You know, player-made refining stations, and you know, talking with the guys over there and being a trucker. Just you know, being like the average Joe blogs. Like a lot of people in in sci-fi games, they always aim on being like the big center of attention. And for me, what I love and what kind of drew me to games like EVE Online, when I first experienced this with EVE Online, is you're the everyman, you're the nobody, you're the dude who no one gives a shit about, and he just does his thing, clocks in, clocks out, comes home, does the bang. And that to me is amazing. That to me is what makes me love this game, is not being the superhero man who flies into the verse and is the hero of the day, just your average Joe blogs mining on a planet and occasionally having to deal with Xenos in the background. Like, nothing serious in that regard. I mean, I do enjoy combat, don't get me wrong. I love, a bit of PvE as the next man. But in comparison to, we're like 10 mil kilometers. In comparison to, where's it going to be a good place? Yeah, that'll be a good place to go. In comparison to like loads of other people, it's nowhere near as exciting. Is that Microtech? No, it's not quite in range yet. Or not quite in visual range yet, I should say. Did they fix the scanning for mining for 318? I would not know. I do apologize on that, Mr. Captain Mango. What I can do, though, is we can get to Port Tressler, and we can quickly test that if you want. So I'll get to Port Tressler, get the prospector out, because I've got one, so we can give it a go, and find out what issue, if it is working or not. I mean, I know with 318.1, they fixed a lot of things, so we definitely could see a fix being true for that one. Yeah, true. I mean, Foxhole is a beautiful game for that. That's why I love Foxhole. If you ever get the chance to play Foxhole, I strongly recommend anyone who's not played Foxhole to give it a go. It's not an easy game to get into. Like, there's a bit of a learning curve, and the tutorial, while it covers nearly all bases, what it doesn't tell you is the game sense of what to do as a scrooper. Though to be fair, you can probably I suppose when I say it's difficult, the learning curve is more like it depends on whether or not you're trying to work with clans. Because if you're working with clans, no trouble, Captain Mangol. Just making sure I can read that because I am short-sighted and the screen is just far enough away that any kind of text begins to blurge. But basically, it's a great game because you can kind of if you're just doing your own form of logistics. If that just means you go into the game, you grab Scroop, you go into the factory and you make ammo, then you're contributing. You're making ammo, you're putting it into the public stockpile, and you can say you've done your bit, which is always a good thing. Or if you're working with clans, that's when you start sort of having there we go. Or if you're working with clans, though, that's when you start like having to seriously think about what you're making. So you can, instead of just making a certain type of ammunition, you can go, right, I need to make rifle rounds, I need to make explosives, 150 mil shells. You need to know how much explosive HE comp is, or advanced comp sort of stuff. It's been a while, to be fair. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to go quickly over to Port Tressler. Right, where is Port Tressler? Bingo. Yeah, Mr. Grand Admiral Steele. If you ever do get Star Citizen, I would very much recommend your first planet be Microtech. Now, the reason why I say Microtech is because New Babbage is a very easy place to navigate. It has very clearly defined locations. It has very easy to understand stores. So it's not like it has access to all kinds of stores, mining, weapons, armor to a degree. Remember Tressler has lights. I think you're thinking on New Babbage.
Drive is now off.
I believe that's what you're talking about in that regard, because Port Tressler it's more. There you go. Yeah. Like I've played. Yeah, like, to be fair, you can have a pretty good session just mining, where you're just sitting there, can of beer or can of drink in hand, and just listening to music whilst you're gathering mining.
Drive is now off.
At the moment, there's nothing I'm overly crazy about when it comes to mining, like in terms of what I want to achieve. But, no, you're right. To be fair, it took me frickin' ages to figure out what Lawville was. I thought Lawville was Hurston. So I used to say, yeah, I'm going to Lawville, the planet. And people were like, no, that's the city on Hurston. But no, Hurston is the company. No, Hurston's the planet. But no, Hurston is the company that has the guns, right? No, Hurston is the planet who is the company who has the guns. And I'm like, brain just popped off. But yeah, no, if you're a new player to Star Citizen and you're wanting to find a good place to go to, New Babbage is perfect for you because, as I said, it's a very easy planet to navigate to. Is that an Idris? That's an Idris. Okay, Idris much. Wait, you can mine in Halo? I never got the campaign edition for Halo Infinite. That is an Idris. Christ. I remember when those things were like new. Like the first time we saw an Idris, we were like, "Oh my god, it's an Idris!" You're like, "Ah!" Now we're just like, "Oh yeah, there you go. Look at the Idris." GG. Christ, I remember losing my shit when I saw an Idris for the first time. I was like, I was so excited. It was like it was a big ship. I was like, it's a big ship! And I was like, so sad. Yeah, I didn't know you could mine in Halo. That does sound pretty cool. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, was a bit of a moment of death. Right, let's land on that.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Oh! Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry, that kind of was like... Oh. Yeah, that kind of made me laugh a bit. Sorry, I'm just imagining, like, it was like, Chief, we need to fight the Covenant. And it's like, not now, Cortana. What are you doing? I just found Adonite. Smash, smash, smash. Oh, Christ, the music in Halo, though. Mwah. Halo 1, 2, and 3, absolute shad music. Everything afterwards doesn't happen, doesn't exist, I don't like it, but I'll go away, bye. Blech. Like, having grown up with Halo, it feels like such a betrayal. Fourth game was okay, fifth game was terrible. Well, it wasn't terrible, but it was like, eh, fine. And again, it just, no. Story-wise, no.
Landing complete.
Right, let's quickly refuel the quantum engine
Landing
because
complete. Have a pleasant stay.
we need to... It's actually surprisingly cheap. It's more expensive to repair my fuck-up than it is to repair quantum fuel. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna win. I probably shouldn't drink with the TrackIR on. There we go. No, I do love Halo. Okay, let me re-clarify what I mean by that. Every game designed by Bungie, I love every Halo. Like every Halo game designed by Bungie, I love. Halo ODST was absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely brilliant. The soundtrack, the music, everything. Same goes for Reach. Reach makes me cry every time I have the Believe song. Like the trailer for Believe makes me cry. It is so wonderful. ODST was a really interesting look in a different perspective, and I loved the smooth jazz as you roll through New Mombasa. The character of the city became as much of an important factor as the main storyline as well. So yeah, no, with no kidding, it is a brilliant thing. But then Halo 4 just had no soul,
Welcome
had
to
no
the ASOP
effort,
vehicle
no
retrieval system.
anything. It just was eh. And it was so depressing in that regard. It really was, and I'm really sad that they butchered Halo like that. I mean, Christ, as much as I was sad to see the Master Chief go in Halo 3, I think it would have been better if he did just leave it. No, God, no. I would never shit on that. I will say, slight off topic, but on topic of the game, this is a really cool feature. So now in 3.18.1, going forward as well, I hope, whenever you go into a new patch and you've got a ship you haven't called into the verse for the first time, and one would hope it would mean when you buy a new ship as well, you actually get the option to instead have to claim the ship like you once had to previously. If you're not in the right location, you can instead request for it to be delivered to your location without charge, and it would only take 20 seconds to do so, which in my opinion is a really good quality of life feature, because it allows the player to not only think, right, I can take off and go wherever the fuck I want, but I'm not going to suffer any consequences of my actions. I have been here before, yes. I was thinking to myself, if I may recall, I've been here, and it turns out, yes, I have. Also, oh lol, there was a dead one. Right, well I'm gonna do the right thing and put it in the trash. Right. Oh. Some people... Wait, what? I can eat that. I can eat that. You know, fuck it. You know what? It's free. We should do it. I am not above being a fucking pillock. Right. Can I throw this? Yeah, place. No, just drop it. There you go. Right, can I eat that? No, fuck off. I mean, at this point, the game doesn't have dysentery or diarrhea yet, so I think I should be safe. Oh my god. Oh god, that was terrible. The Star Citizen experience, eating off the fucking ground. As they say, his loss, my gain. Oh god. Well, we could definitely tell people at New Babbage don't, or Port Tressler don't leave their bloody mess in the car. We can tell people who are here either new players or they don't know what to do, because there is such fucking mess here. Honestly, clean up after yourselves. Right. Anyway, well now we've fed and now that we've adequately fed ourselves. Oh, I know it was a double wide hot dog, probably filled with all the sorts of shit that would make a Xenos cry. Oh, there we go. Oh, Ninetales cape. Okay, that's pretty cool. Excuse me. Yeah, the only downside is the
Welcome to the
delivery,
vehicle
ASOP
retrieval
delivery,
system.
ASOP stuff is not quite right. Prospector, there we go.
Vehicle selected. Stand
I
by.
know we're learning how to scroop, and we will get back to
Your
scrooping.
vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
Yep, tell me which hangar. Hangar 3. Perfect. We are going to continue scrooping, but I am going to help Mr. Captain Mongol here to answer a question, because I am also a miner, and I wasn't aware of this. So, Captain Mangle, what was the problem with the mining thing? Because I am actually quite a big fan of mining, and I did want to do mining in the future. No, it's fine. It's nothing. Oh, God. Heretic. Another fucking Chaos Lover. Where are the Imperium fans? Where are those who are wishing to be blessed by the Golden Throne? Also, I just realized the I forgot to put my helmet back on. That would have been embarrassing. Right, I'm going to drop this on the floor. There we go. I'm going to pop that into yonder. Perfect. Anyway, so this is the Prospector. This is the MISC's like entry tier mining vessel. Quite small, quite simple, very streamlined, but has, in my opinion, one of the best cockpits in Star Citizen. Like, absolutely beautiful coverage. Okay. You are forgiven for now. Right, so let's go down over to...
You are clear to launch.
To the scanning simulator. Okay. I was a bit worried that you were going to make it sound like the scanning... what you were you made me worried there for a second, because I thought when you were talking about the scanning system not working, I thought you were basically saying that the scanning rock was that you couldn't actually tell what type of rock it was, and that you couldn't actually figure out what bit you were mining. So no, let's see if we can fix that problem for you. At least find out if we can help. I feel natural being in this ship, I don't lie. Like, if I was ever to say my absolute favorite ship would be, it probably would be this one, in terms of, like, civil. For military stuff, I would say it would be a tough call. Right, where is a good place I can mine? I could just go down to the planet's surface and go for it, but Microtech I don't think has much mining areas, but we will see. Calliope. I know they call it Calliope because they're French, but I call it Calliope because I refuse to call it any other thing. Has anyone noticed that the text in the screen textures out a bit, like a lot? I don't know if that's just me. Also, by the way, let me know how the audio levels are. I mean, to be fair, the Buccaneer is a beautiful light fighter. And when we're talking about good light fighters, I think anything that says fuck you to the Gladius is something that's going to be good in my books. Like, I know that the Gladius is a go-to ship for it because it is so nimble, it has the shields, it has the capacity to do some serious fighting. But everyone goes for it, and it's like, dude, there's no imagination. Whereas the Buccaneer, you've got the giant size 4 at the top, you've got the two, multiple fixed weapons, sure, but, fucking hell, you got the fucking size 4. You can be quite imaginative with what kind of weapon you can go with that. Again, don't drink when I'm, don't drink when I'm,
Quantum travel complete.
Pardon me. See, this is why I don't think I'm ever going to be one of those streamers who goes absolutely... It's like, #1 YouTuber streamer or Twitch streamer. Because it's like, I belch, I joke, I fart, I swear. I am too human for the algorithm to lag. Oh, hello. Does this tell you anything? I've not actually done much with the scanner. I'm using my scroll wheel to do this. There we go. It's not letting me go all the way in. I'm not entirely sure how to do this. Oh. I'm scanning. True. And... am I scanning? Oh, with the mine extender. My apologies.
Fracturing mode on. Mining mode on.
A lot of people found me from that. That's a little bit worrying. I can't seem to scan this rock. Am I not in range?
Extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on. Mining mode off. Mining mode on. Fracturing mode on.
Okay, there we go. Is that good? I'm not entirely sure if I'm doing it right, but hopefully this tells you things. I haven't been doing mining in a while, actually. I need to get back into the swing a bit. I'm sorry that you're taking... by the way, I'm really sorry to hear that you get shat on by all the other players with mining. I've yet to be... well, touch wood. But, I've not been engaged in mining. I can get engaged whilst mining. I normally tend to bug out the moment I see any kind of other player, even if it's not red. Call me a coward, but it's like I don't take chances. Oh, yeah, sunset. So, can you change the FOV? Well, like, as in for like my display, or do you mean the ability to like scan or change the direction of the pulse, perhaps? Or are you talking like the FOV is in my characters, like my actual in-game FOV? If so, what section of the controls do I need to be on? I need to switch to this mode.
Mining mode off.
Yeah, reduce the pulse. Oh, I see. Let me find out. I think there was a scanning section. There we go. There we go. Though that is vehicles. Does it kind of mean the same thing for vehicles as it does for I have no idea what that is. Okay. The problem is if I do it in mining mode, I think the problem is the controls for the mining mode override the scanner pulse for it, if that makes any sense. So, I think the problem we have here is we've got two overriding controls. So, hang on, let me go to, because if you ever see, increased mining power laser, but if we go to the vehicle thing, we also have the option of increasing the scanning angle. Or pulsing. I'm going to do cockpit movement. Does it have anything about a pulse? I'm just trying to figure out if we can find a scanner. Because it might just be that it's not doing it because it's not it might be overriding the thing for it. But I'm just trying to figure out where that button option is. Oh, okay, never mind. I was wrong. It was oh, it's those two, right? Okay. Let me reverse out a bit. That's increasing it, I think. Kind of going a bit mad with the scanner here. I can't really tell if I'm increasing it or decreasing it. Right, I'm pressing it all the way to the left now, I guess. There's no indicator, of course, on the screen that tells me if I'm doing anything. It just does that. Activate ping. So increase would be period, which is full stop, and decrease would be the comma. But it doesn't tell me if that's doing anything. Let me increase the thing as much as possible. No, it looks like it just does a whole 360-degree avenue. I'm not entirely... Alright, Steel. Have a good one, mate. Thank you very much for tuning into the stream. Hope to catch you in the next one. Yeah, I don't see if there's any real changes made to that. I am sorry. Okay. I'm going to be streaming on Saturday. I'll be streaming at Saturday at about 2 o'clock. So 2 p.m. GMT. So I will most likely be streaming this on 2 o'clock. continuation of perhaps these things, or trying out some new things. Not too sure what. I might go to mining on Saturday. You know what? That might be the plan. We'll see. I mean, we've been doing this investigation for mining, so. You tape. Anyway, let's get off this rock. Micro. I see. So you use it as a... Ah, okay. No trouble at all. More than happy to help. I mean, as miners go, we all kind of got to stick together, so at least I can do is help that. Bye, Grand Admiral. Have a wonderful day. Hope you're all good. I see, I didn't know you could actually do that. Though, to be fair, what you could possibly do instead is use the manual scan. Like, use the manual scanner, perhaps. So rather than, for example, rely on the mining laser out thing, you could, in fact, get the other stuff going. But GMT UK, or UTC 0, whichever way they do it, I'm not too sure. Why are you at 66 comms? It's like, here, let me get you 90% the way there.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
I will do my best to be on that particular point. Yeah, I'll remember for that one. So. Okay. Let's see if I can. Pretty beautiful location. I mean, this is the reason why I love the reason why I love this is the reason why I love this ship, is just because you can look at this beautiful location. And look, there's Microtech somewhere down there. I keep going to drink and I keep forgetting to turn it off. Oh God, that would be amazing. Having the galaxy with a refining, yeah, no, I can totally see that. I mean, it's doable, maybe. I mean, it's optimism, admittedly flowing. Optimism is ever flowing.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
But you never know. You might get it. You might get it. I mean, even more importantly, of course, is what you can do with the Expanse. Now, obviously, once refining becomes a thing in Star Citizen, we're going to have to it's going to kind of shake up the whole do you or don't you commit to doing the going to the refinery stations. Though, to be fair, the other thing that you might want to have to take into consideration, just going to have a quick look at this little thing. Oops. Looks like somebody played and fucked around and found out. Is that the Odyssey suit? No, it's a pirate. Boop. But no, like when it comes to once refining becomes the next sort of thing to have, the question is going to be whether it's going to be worth refining yourself, or you're going to be refining inside the mission area. Like if you're a sole miner, it's probably going to become a little bit more profitable, or it's probably going to be a bit more of a better form of time sink to just use the long-term refining process. Because like in the grand scheme of things, if you are refining pretty good stuff, oh, he's dead.
Landing successful.
That guy's dead.
Engines off.
That guy is fucking dead.
Have a pleasant stay.
You can see already there was those 2 ships coming towards him. That guy is dead for sure. So no, without a shadow of a doubt, that guy is spaghetti bolognese. But no, what is it? But no, what was it? I think when I'm really curious to see like when refining becomes a thing that players can do. I'm going to be wondering a lot whether or not mining. I mean, solo mining, I don't think will be too affected. Like, I am like thinking on it personally speaking. I'm not. If I do have the expanse, I'm not going to go out of my way to try and, you know, I'm not that much of a Scrooge that I'm going to, you know, forego going to the refinery stations and requesting for them to sort my shit out. So that's going to be a thing that's not going to be happening. But if you can get someone who can willingly sit there and do the refining process, that's going to do quite a nice amount of money-making capacity for you. Because what you can possibly do is perhaps make it so that it refines even better and faster than the refinery stations would inside inside. Let's see, where's my other thing? Where's the vulture? I've got the cutter, but I want the vulture. But yeah, like that's something that could be pretty freaking cool.
Your vehicle has
But again,
been delivered to the following
you
location.
need someone to sit there with you in the expanse waiting for you to fill up the pods. And if you're going to roll with like a full-on like crew with, you know, the 2 prospectors and an expanse, that's quite a lot of waiting if you're that person who's flying the expanse. So I don't know, the logistics of these things, I think we're entering territory now of a job role that might not be the most entertaining. Now, of course, this is coming from the person who talks about Logi and Foxhole being the next best thing. But at the same time, there's only so, like, I'm just thinking in the grand scheme of things, because not everyone wants to Logi, and not everyone wants to wait on everyone else to have the fun, if that makes any sense. Wait, the Expanse was too big, but the Galaxy's a good size. You do realize the... Like, actually, let's actually have a look. It's not that big. Like... Length 35... Like, the Misk Expanse is like... What? Yeah, it's not that much bigger than the Prospector. But the Galaxy is a freaking, like, Carrack size. No! Fucking hell. Just about saved it. Yeah, like, the Galaxy is big enough to fit, yeah, the Galaxy is big enough to fit the, Okay, so the internal landing bay is probably not big enough, but you're looking at a fairly sizable ship. Like, it's in between the Polaris... Actually, is it between the Polaris? I'm just trying to see size comparison. The Polaris, yeah. What's the middle one? I can't remember what the middle one is. So I'm just looking at an image of like 3 big ships. The one on the left is a Polaris, the one on the right. Okay. Well, regardless, maybe. But no, like, the hangar bay, I will agree, looking on it further.
You are clear to launch.
Spilt a bit of drink on the desk, but the pad is already that old, so it'll be absorbed. It feeds on nutrients. Okay. But no, like, the Expanse is definitely big, but it's not that big. Also, oh, hi. Well, that was well timed. Thank you. God, Star Citizen's really nice. Gives you a free ship and everything. That was brilliant. I'm sorry. The timing on that.
Thank you, and please visit again.
I will if you give me ships immediately after. There you go. That's my reward for doing a nice deed of the day. I get to immediately. That's actually quite awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Look, he was a bad guy. He died. I was the first on the scene. I identified that the ship was in fact destroyed. So, by the rule of dibs, I hereby dib this location to be glorified and salvaged for the Jaeger Industries Corporation. There you go. There's my claim. Not much value in this place. I mean, it's only in Aurora, so obviously someone is not having a good day, but doesn't matter to me because I get to loot it. Oh, lag spike. Yeah, this particular skin, which I can't remember. Can I actually get the mutant options? Oh, loadout badge, that was it. Vulture. I wish you could select it, because then I could actually show you what my ship has got. I can't remember what paint scheme I've got, but... it's fine. I think he's run out of mineable parts. Oh, there's something. Look, he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy. I was a girl. Can I make it any more obvious? No. Eventually, I could have stolen those missiles, and in the next patch, I'm going to be able to steal those. I mean, gloriously salvage those missiles. Fuck you! I'm not obstructing a parking area. I am salvaging here. Fucking. I am not obstructing anything, sir. I am merely claiming my right as part of Jaeger Industries' business team. Oh, good to have. You missed a really awesome bit, Grand Admiral. An Aurora flew right in front of the hangar as I was leaving with the, as I was leaving with the Drake Vulture and exploded. And like the fuck, and I was like, well, this is a handy surprise, and I was able to get Scroop in almost immediately. I'm like, well, thank you very much, madam. Let me have a look, see. Cleo. We'll go Cleo. Cleo! Go to the Renault Clio base. Repurpose, yes. I mean, if you've ever played Factorio, you'll know what I mean. If you've never played Factorio, run. Don't even think about it, just run. Like, don't even think about Factorio. It's a dangerous habit. It's a disgusting habit. You should never go near it. That's probably clippable, to be honest with you.
Quantum drive is now off.
If ever there was a clippable moment, I probably would have that as my clippable moment.
Quantum drive is now on.
That was a pretty good moment. Ooh. I have timed my locations well. You know, in terms of views, the Drake Vulture isn't so bad. It's no Prospector, but it certainly does a good job. Right, time to go scrooping. Scrooping. Gotta go good scrooping. It's a funny, tiny little thing. But when you wanna go scrooping, come with me. So scrooping. Gotta go scrooping. Got to figure out the kind of stratagem for scrooping as well. Yeah. Hey, race course. That's a good place to scroop. Now you may be wondering why I'm thinking, why I'm getting overexcited about scrooping in a race course. Well, apart from the fact that it's a pretty cool place to fly to, I'm also going there because I know for a fact some retards would have crashed their ships, and I can take advantage of that. God, I'm such a bastard. But it's true. Like, I reckon we'll find some wrecks on this area. I know it. Right. Let's have a look, see. Because this is, to be fair, it's not been that long into this particular patch, so we may not be lucky, but I'd like to think we are. Yeah, crappy players. Yeah, crappy players. Yeah, crappy players. Come on, you know you want to wreck. By the way, this location is a really nice location because it is actually a place where you can race, obviously. And there's obviously the little gander stats. Like, racing in Star Citizen is probably... It's a really... I think it's something that CIG are finally kind of getting around to really showing their appreciation for, because some of the locations here... Ah, I knew it! That has to be a part of a ship. Oh, what? I suppose. No, you make a good case. Just trying to think. I'm a little disappointed in you, Star Citizen.
Gear down.
Well, not Star Citizen. Players. Also Star Citizen because I can't Scroop salvage. I would have thought someone would have crashed here. kind of reminds me of Star Wars Rebel Assault. Like, the first mission is you doing like a tutorial segment in a canyon. And I tell you what, if you ever talk about a Star Wars game that was difficult, that bastard game would be... Wait, what was that? Is that a ship? Yes! I knew it! Yes! Oh, it's so satisfying when you're right. I have one story. It's not very impressive, but I kind of think it's impressive. So, hang on, let me just take off my thing so I don't spend too much laughing and being loud. So basically, years ago, I'm still part of BSI, but I'm not as active. I pretty should get back into the swing of things with them. But basically, I was part of a sort of a training event with the org BSI, and we were just doing one of our first-person, training missions where we would sort of go into an area and have a couple of fights, talk about the tactics, try and see if we can figure out what we can do to improve our tactics, and then going forward, we'd implement the sort of the future sort of plans, as it were. Anyway, so as we're coming up to the end, a few of the people who had survived the combat mission had crime stats on because nobody turned off the nobody bothered to turn off the comm link, so there were a few people with crime stats on. And whilst we were all sitting there, I was sitting in a Valkyrie gunship just waiting for takeoff whilst a couple of the commanders were sort of talking about a few things. I'm not entirely sure why we were delayed, but we were delayed. And someone in an Eclipse wanted to come and claim the bounty on one of the players who turned up and started shooting at us. And so a couple of the guys who were already in the ship were like, sort of going like, shit, get in the fucking guns, we've got to shoot the bastards down. And this was before the redesign of ballistics. We had basically a whole bunch of chain guns on the Valkyrie ships. Anyway, so the guy who was flying the Eclipse was not a very good pilot. Because I think if there was a relatively decent pilot in the Eclipse, we would have probably died by the first torpedo. Because he fired like his first torpedo and it smacked into the side of the mountain, which didn't do good. And so when we confirmed that he in fact had shot at us with the torpedoes, I immediately took off, and we started to do, I did what I thought at the time was okay dodging maneuvers, and I've really got to get my spatial awareness for this thing a little better. So yeah, basically a little bit there. So basically, I did some dodging maneuvers inside the canyonways, all the while trying to, first of all locate the guy. And when we did find the guy, we basically started shooting at him to be like, "Wait, fuck off." Anyway, so he fires his second torpedo, which somehow our gunner shot out of the sky. Don't ask me why. It just never impacted. We got the warning symbols. I hit the flares and the decoys and all the other jazz, and it didn't hit, which was great. And then finally, the last one, I jinked the torpedo into the ground because we were quite low to the ground anyway. Again, this guy was not what I would call a good pilot. If you had any level of tactical sense, he probably would have killed us in like the first. He probably could have easily killed us within like the first two, torpedoes and everything. So, but no, so then, he tried to fight us one-on-one with guns. Now, I can tell you for one thing, the Eclipse may be an absolutely beautiful, heavy, and powerful, sleek and beautiful, powerful stealth fighter. Dogfighter it is not. After a few seconds of attempting to shoot us down with his guns, he realized he bit off a bit more than he could chew, and he then tried to bug out. But by that point, he'd taken so much damage that we were able to... by that point, he'd taken too much damage, and with in a sort of a last-ditch effort, whilst he was trying to break away, we basically shot every fucking thing we had at him, and I was blazing away on the guns. I'd gotten behind him and everything, and I fucking killed him. I got the fucking kill, because I got a crime stat. So I ended up killing a fucking Anvil Valkyrie. killed an Aegis Eclipse fighter, and I've still got the footage, and I'm so proud I've still got the footage. It was, oh, I was so proud. That was my proudest moment in Star Citizen, was getting an air kill in that. That's probably my finest moment in Star Citizen, without a doubt. I have a second story to tell, but that's more something I witnessed, not something I did. So the second story is I was on Daymar doing some mining with the ROC. At the time it was a relatively new ground vehicle, and I was with this other guy. I'm afraid I can't remember his name. But we were basically, there was the three of us. There was myself, this other guy who I sadly can't remember his name, and I believe Autumn, part of SM, part of BSI. And we were just fucking around with the new ROC at the time, and we were just sort of exploring. And it was around the time of the PvP event, where if you got a certain amount of air kills or a certain amount of player kills, you got the Vandal mask, and you can proudly promote how much of a douchebag you were by wearing the mask. And yeah, it was not, it wasn't a glamorous mask, but people did it, people died, people queued, it was all hilarious. But anyway, some people were basically doing it dirty and killing random players for absolutely no reason. So it's like, fine, okay, we'll roll with it. And basically, in this particular instance, myself and this other guy were sort of slowly but surely mining this Hadanite rock, when the douchebag McBastard decides to show up in his Gladius and start shooting at us. Now, we're in ROCs with absolutely no threat or presence to him whatsoever, so there's absolutely no reason for him to shoot us. Now, there are people, if you're a PvPer, you probably would be like, oh, but it's part of the game, you know, and it's like, okay, I get it, this game has PvP, and it's supposed to be a dangerous verse and all that jazz, but it's like, do you really want to be a dick and attack a miner? Well, he was, and he unfortunately took out he took out the other bloke first, the guy who I sadly can't remember his name now. He took him out first, which was a real shame. I basically bolted it to I bolted it to the nearby Carrack, and called, and we were in the Discord at the time, so I'm like, oh fuck, we're under heavy fire from a fucking Gladius. And Autumn, who at the time was basically flying in his Pisces, he was originally just flying his Pisces so he could basically come pick us up. He was going to fly the Carrack and fly us out of there once we mined the thing, but he was flying in with his Pisces. And so, we didn't have enough time. He didn't have enough time to fucking to go back to the port to get another ship. So instead, he takes his Pisces and flies, fucking head on towards this Gladius pilot and starts juking with him and shooting with him and every fucking thing. And the fucking Gladius pilot bailed. He took multiple hits, and Autumn was basically like fucking jinking and diving and doing all sorts of things, and it was absolutely hilarious watching this tiny little dot circling a Gladius and shooting the shit out of him. And eventually the other guy bailed. As I said, the Gladius pilot bailed, withdraw for a bit, and we were just like, you are a fucking legend. He's like, yeah, I know. It's the Pisces. I fucking love this thing. And I'm like, dude, I can see why. Bearing in mind, the Pisces doesn't have anywhere near the level of armament to take on a fucking thing. But again, it just goes to show, in Star Citizen, it's like, it's not the ship, it's the pilot. And, oh, hello. It's another one. Yeah. See, I fucking called it. They're a shit. Yeah, look at all these destroyed MX races. Oh, am I cottoning the market here? Are we just going to have a bunch of vultures flying by tracks, waiting for someone? Yeah. To be fair, I think the Star Citizen developers will actually. I think the developers will probably. I think they were onto something when they named it the Vulture. What was brilliant was the guy clearly was salty. The Gladius pilot was clearly salty because a few minutes after after Autumn had landed his ship inside the Carrack and was flying us out of the area, as the other guy who sadly died respawned in the Carrack, we were just basically sort of sitting there laughing about the fact that the guy, basically got chased off by a Pisces. The guy came back, didn't say anything, but just came back and attempted to board our ship by basically rushing his ship into the still open hangar in the Pisces hangar bay. So in a sense, he destroyed the Pisces in the hangar, which was a bit of a dick move. But you know, this guy clearly wasn't. You know, this guy had already proven the merit of his worth, and it ended up and tried to board the ship. You know, to try and kill us out of petty, salty rage. But the thing is, we were standing right next to the hangar bay with shotguns at the ready by the time the fucker was at the door. So the guy opens the door trying to be all tactical, and he got a face full of BR2. So it was just, we just sat there laughing our asses off at this clearly failed attempt to try and get us. And it was just, we just sat there, just... It was more stunning that someone could be that stunning that could be that stupid. Ah! Speaking of which, you know, it just, oh, it was hilarious. I can't deny it was probably one of the funnier moments in Star Citizen. But those were the good times. That was a funny day. So ever since then, I have always loved the Pisces because it is such a good ship, and in the hands of a decent pilot, oh, you bet your fucking ass it's gonna destroy shit. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that's wonderful. Right. Take our time looking through. See, I told you we could go to a... Oh, that's brilliant. Sorry. I'm just excited. I'm ecstatic. The first reason is because we could actually... there was, you know, telling those stories brought back good memories. Second of all, the fact that we actually have wrecks at this race course. I'm so happy I was vindicated. Sure, there's not tons of wrecks, but there's enough wrecks. So, you know, I have been vindicated in my beliefs that yes, players will do this and players will fuck up, meaning I have work to do. Which is wonderful. But yeah, so no, there has been some good times in Star Citizen for sure with this with that. And I look forward to making more of them. I mean, especially since, for example, now I've been vindicated in my proof of ships crashing at a race course. The only downside I could see with this place is, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to be. Oh, hello. That looks like someone dead, but that looks like a dead body. I mean, it's not like, for example, of massive amounts of ships and wreckage and whatnot, but it's enough, which is the important thing. Just whacked myself on the microphone, so apologies if the sound went a little bit weird. Right. So what was this ship? That looks like a Razor. I mean, a lot of speed racers are going to... A lot of hard flyers will definitely be flying these things. I'm sure the hard flyers will eventually complain at the amount of wrecks and stuff, but I reckon it's going to be quite a sight to behold. Got to be a bit observant though. And the Prospector, the Vulture could definitely do with the better quality lighting, because barely being able to see ahead of your ship does not make a good of light. to say, I think I've actually done a full circuit. I do believe I have. Right. Let's, just trying to think, where would a hard flyer crash? What would a hard flyer do? In order to understand where the wrecks will be, you have to think about where they would want to be. And that is the question. Ah! Oh, there's the outpost, right. Because so far, we've only had a few wrecks here and there. You know, nothing overly special, but nothing overly empty either. Right, so we're just going to fly over to the outpost now to see if we can see if there's any other wrecks around the location, because normally it looks to be, judging from like new player stuff, there's always seems to be like a couple of wrecks or a couple of abandoned vessels, so that's like an easy-ish sort of thing to have with that. Probably. Though, to be fair, this is a fairly obscure planet. I mean, Clio is not, by any stretch of the imagination, like a common destination. You know, it's quite scattered, it's quite an outreach. If I was going to expect any kind of dedicated racing locations, it would most likely be on Hurston, because there's actually even racing missions located there. So, it wouldn't be surprising if we went to Hurston, and I think I'll probably do that in the next stream, is if we go to Hurston and start looking for scrap along the race course, we'll probably be finding ourselves far more likely to have more ships, more crashes, more victims, whereas Clio is still kind of barren, in a sense, like it's not that common. And but I think I was lucky more than anything to find, you know, that there are ships that have crashed here. Yeah, this is a very empty location. Not even a sign of... Oh, hang on. No, tell a lie. You don't look like you belong here. Look at a lot of auroras lately. Or is that an aurora? Yeah, that is an aurora. Oh, piss off. Really? Of course. It's an armistice zone. I can't wait for these things to be disabled. Wait a minute. You see, if I had a tractor beam... Yeah, we got to try and neutralize it somehow. Right, 2019. Unfortunately, you got to go quite a ways away before the exclusion zone. Okay, so this is as far as they need to go. We can nudge that out, I reckon. We can nudge it. We as Scroopers will nudge. Look, call it like a duty of care, you know? We wanna do our part to clean up Stanton. So, of course we're gonna nudge the fucker out there. Alright, precision flying. Call this precision flying. There we go. Alright. Thank you very much, Grand Admiral Steele, for coming back. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Look, I'm nudging! Nudge. Nudge. I mean, I'm doing damage to my ship by doing this, so I shouldn't be super ecstatic about this, but if I can nudge this out of the zone, then I will count myself happy. Nudge. I can nudge you out here. I will salvage this ship turning it into something truly magnificent to see. A whole scrap box worth some decent salvage. I will make you into a multi-tool and maybe just that tractor add-on too. A whole scrap world where everything lasts point. Oh, hello, there's another ship over there. I didn't even see that. Is that another ship? Oh! Ah! We will get you out of here. Again, if I had a tractor beam on this thing. Come on. No, 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 no. Come on. There we go. Ah! I'm scared. I am doing damage to my own ship whilst I am extremely ecstatic at the level of success we have. Right. Leave it to setup. Oh god! Yeah, you know what? You do that. Nudge. I just need to get you out of the fucking zone. Come on. Just ever so fucking slightly more. Come on. Fucking rocks. Come on. There you go. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Look at you. How bloody far do you need to go? Seriously? Look, I know I'm a vulture player, but still. Come on. Come on. Gib. Gib this wreck to me, Star Citizen. I'm working for it, alright? God, the repair bill's gonna be so fucking high. It's like, well, you've got yourself a nice bit of salvage there, Mr. Jaeger. I can offer you about $110,000 for it. But the problem is, you fucked your ship so bad trying to get the damn thing out of there that you're gonna have to pay me $120,000 just to fix your ship. Maybe you should invest in one of them tractor thing devices that we've been hearing so much about. It's not in the patch yet. I know it ain't. That's why I'm charging you $120. For fuck's sake. Go. Come on. You're almost there. You're almost there. Come on. There's going to be some random new player just watching this vulture just pushing this fucking thing out of the... like, yeah! Yes! It's worth it in the end. Sit down, children. Let me tell you the tale of a vulture that could. Because that vulture's got high greed. He's got high greed. He'll go anywhere where there's a profit. You know, when a ship's in armistice, but you gotta scrap, so what you gonna do? Oops, there goes another Aurora scrap. I'm feeling a very musical mood tonight. Mute, not mood, nude. That was funny. Alright. Whoa, hello. Is he flipping over for me to get more Scroop? Oh, the darling. The absolute darling. Is that... He's like B12. You know, the only decent thing to come out of that shit show franchise. Oh, bless. That was so awesome of this ship. Thank you. Oh, I feel so I feel so valuable now. Oh. I don't want to know how many scuff marks are on my ship already. Yeah, I've got the entire underside of my ship as well. Doesn't say there's anything happening in there. I can't wait to see the more in-depth salvage, which will allow us to get even more Scroop. Right, let's see. Where's that other ship? You know, considering how much effort I put into moving that damn thing, it doesn't just... I would have thought it would have been further. It felt so much further, but it was such a short distance away. That is truly the most ironic thing in the entire galaxy right there, is how fucking far away we are actually from the target. GG. Right, where's the other shipwreck that I saw that was inside the zone? Because I think I've scooped as much as I can out of that wreck. Thank you so much, Prospector. I would hug you if I could, but that would result in my ship's death, because I think I've already taken the piss. Oh, there it is. Yep, that's the ship bit. That's the ship bit. I mean, it's only a wing, but... He's got Scroop goes, he's got Scroop goes, he's got higher than high in the sky goes. Yeah, so if you're gonna go Scrooping, to be honest with you, now let's get the Scrooping. We're here for a reason. What is that reason? Scrooping. We will Scroop and Scroop and Scroop. That engine's still on. I can Scroop you the world through the Stanton system. Come on. Come on. Who's a good bit of wreckage? You are. You want to come out of the Armistice Zone? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You want to be Scroop, don't you? Yes, you do. Ah! I am so gonna repair you when we get back to base. It's like we're just gonna go take a quick detour to Port Tressler so I can fix the giant dent that's in the front of my ship. Ah! Okay, yeah, okay. Scrooping. Come on up. Look, Mustang, we all know you're the most useless ship in the verse. But what we do know is that you make good Scrooping. Don't disappoint me now. Come on. Look at all that Scroop you have on you. Why would you deny that? Ah! Okay. I ain't gonna question it. I ain't gonna question it. Mustangs make good Scrooping. So, a braid scrapper module. Is that for like a general area? Is that like a higher area, or...? I'm not entirely sure what those two processes are, to be brutally honest with you. I will need to do some research on like the finite aspects of Scrooping. What I do know is that if we can get a couple of decent loads of this stuff, we're actually going to find ourselves in quite a bit of profit. But obviously... Right, let's see what's the other side showing. Right, there we go. Scrooped. Yeah, I wonder why. Right, let's make our way back to Microtech, shall we? Or at least to Port Tressler, because yeah, engine ship might need some repairs. Just saying. Problem is though, I fear we may not be able to get port. Yeah, no, I didn't think so. Right, where we need to go. I think we're going to need... Oh, yeah, we need to be on the other side of the planet, don't we? So... Microtech... Oh, real. Okay. Yeah, we're on the other side of the... On Clio, so we need to get ourselves to a safer... Oh, yeah, Utrecht. Yeah, we go to Utrecht. When we go to the other side of that, we get to see Microtech, and... we get to avoid having to fuck around.
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive.
Right, so then if we make our way towards there, then Microtech should, in theory... There it is! And there it is! No, come on, Port Tressler. Keep it steady, shoot. Keep it simple, stupid. And yeah. Oh, come on. Helps if I press the wrong button. If I helps if I press the right button. Helps if I press the right button.
Landing gear up.
Right, so we've got one scrap at the moment. So scrooping wise, we're not going too hot on, but I have confidence. Right. I'm gonna land.
Quantum drive is now off.
I'm gonna land over by. Yeah, quickly land over at Port Tressler. Get myself some Scroop. Well, get my ship repaired. Oops. There we go. Right, give my head a bit of a rest. So we're going to go quickly back into Microtech. We'll land at Port Tressler, and then we're going to try and quickly land. We're going to try and see if we can get Scroop in some of the some of the abandoned ships. Try and see if we can find some destroyed ships around some of the landing zones, so we can see if there's any sort of opportunities for us to get some profit on that. Because having the Scroop, having the ships be mineable or salvageable, could net us some profit. Could be a really good profit location. There are a bunch of wrecks scattered around Port Tressler though, so there's a fair few wrecks, but we'll see what we can do. See what we can do. I mean, we don't know if it's going to be like super profitable or not. If it's super profitable, we can get like two. I want to just do two things, kind of running a bit low on time now, and I don't want to take too much longer because obviously I do have work in the morning. So, oh come on. They're shielded.
Friendly fire.
Not gonna chance it. If I get a crime stat for blowing that up, I lose everything. So let's not chance it. Get back into Port Tressler, land the ship, repair the ship, come back out of Port Tressler, and then try and go to a landing zone inside Microtech to see if that's going to do anything. Because what we can do from that is we can potentially get 2 SEU stacks full.
Please proceed to assigned landing
And that's
bay.
going to be quite useful to see. And this is just to learn what we can do. So it's taken a bit of a time to get this. So it's definitely, I mean, to be fair, I'm not really doing it probably as good as I could, perhaps. Like, I'm probably, depending on how things go, I'm probably not in the best of locations for, like, doing the proper good scrooping. But I'm fairly certain if we can get, if I can scroop in a decent location, I reckon I could potentially earn and get a fair amount of scroop. Oh, someone exploded. Yeah, someone exploded. Christ. I mean, to be fair, depending on the popularity of the landing zones, I'm not in a really good location. Like, if I wanted to get decent levels of Scroop, I probably should head over to Hurston, Area 18, that sort of thing. Because those areas, Crusader, those areas are kind of littered with players, especially near the near Grimhex.
Landing complete.
Because that's where you probably get that's probably where the profit is.
Landing complete.
Definitely.
Have a pleasant stay.
So, oh, only 21. No, the hydrogen fueled. Yeah, that's what I feared. Hydrogen fuel, not cheap. Hydrogen fuel, very much not cheap. Right.
You are clear to launch.
Ooh, back spike. Come on. Here we go.
Landing gear up.
Alright. Looks like somebody crashed. Well, someone crashed into something. Can't see what the wreck was, though. Didn't see where the impact happened. But I did see a bit of Scroop going off into the distance, so you never know. God, new weeks must be free fly weeks must be a fucking dream for Scroopers. I just realized how many fucking missions and areas and people are you gonna have where Scrooping is just gonna be like a dream, like a full-on dream. Because if you think about it, ships that have crashed into players who don't know how to fly are inevitably gonna crash into something, which naturally would then cause the entire planet, well, cause the local area to be covered in, right, data center, no. Is there any kind of R&R stations? There's Outpost 54. There's not many, like, where would it, like, missions for, like, newbies? You need to find places that newbies would go to, so, Schumann Mining Facility. Yeah, that's a decent location. Is that in a gridlock? No, it's not. Right, cool. Ooh, yes! Necropolis. That is a good place to go to. Well, potentially.
Is now on.
That might be a place where we can get Scroop. Because Scrooping is going to be exciting. Is it on the night side? I hope it's not on the night side. It is not on the night side. Get in there. Right, let's get going. I need to turn the lights on, but it's really dark. Right, hang on. Let me quickly adjust.
Quantum drive is now off.
Always remember, people, always play in a well-lit room. Right, let's see if we can get some things. So yeah, I'm going to try and see if we can... Like, I'm just learning how to Scroop at the moment. So welcome to the stream. If you are just starting, or if you only just tuned in, I am currently learning how to Scroop with the Vulture. And for anyone who wondering what Scroop means, basically, I am gathering salvage. The term comes from Foxhole, where, at least that's where I heard it from. That's where I heard it be utilized a lot. Where basically a player who's playing the logistics role will spend their time gathering scrap metal for building resources, building equipment, or just gathering for materials for war effort. So the desire with this location, or this particular area, is to find out where are the good places to Scroop, and where is the good place, you know, what are the good locations to Scroop at? Where is the, you know, so I'm just thinking areas of mission areas, so that might be a location where we can see potential Scroop locations. Like, you know, ships that players have crashed, or, scanning all the rings. It's a shame I can't specify a wreck scanner. That'll be nice. Like, with the salvage area, there's got to be some kind of, like, salvageable wrecks, or, like, you know, a thing that you can fine-tune the settings for. Is it a ship? Nope, it's just minables. Where are the ships in this area? I'd like to know, because I'm genuinely surprised that there are not many ships. Like, you'd think the Necropolis, being a prominent location, would have ships. But no. No ships whatsoever. I am disappointed. Sure, big mine facility. We'll see if we can look at that. Let's see if we can find that location now. God damn it. I think it's like 10,000 meters we can start. Really more than 10,000 meters? Yeah, we're still struggling. We're still struggling. That's kind of annoying and impressive at the same time. I mean, the good thing here is that we're above 12. We're now above the atmospheric line, so we should, in theory, be able to... we should, in theory, be able to manage now. Yep, there we go. So, Shubing mining facility. That should be there. see what happens. So we might end up going into a winter zone, night zone. If we're lucky, it'll be actually kind of daylight. But I fear I may have just put us into a dark zone. No, we're not. We're actually into the light zone. Or at least we're in a daylight zone. Which is nice. And it looks like it's in a relatively open spot. There's another location not too far away as well, which is a pretty useful location. So...
Drive is now
somewhere down there is a mining facility.
landing gear down. Landing gear up.
Right. I will say one thing, the ship is not the fastest. Like, we're definitely feeling the edge on this one, and I only need to go a little bit further, like, oh, for God's sake. Like, we only need to do a little, about 40 more point SCUs worth of mining, so of scrooping, and I think we can do it. So it's definitely a learning curve for sure, but at the same time, it's also like...
Landing gear up.
It's definitely a learning experience for sure. Oh, we're approaching the forests now. More importantly, we're in an area where there's hopefully a decent amount of players, well, Scrooped players. Though then again, it could also be a factor that because we're in Microtech, this area isn't as frequented by players, which, you know, it is quite a possibility. It's, you know, it's not an unthought of premise. I have been here before. Oh, that was that PvP thing we did years ago. And what the? That looks like a reclaimer, or is that just a bit of crap? No, it's just a bit of ground. Damn it. But I can kind of see... Yeah, there's nothing here. Or at least... No, I can't see anything. Damn it. Yeah, I think I may have made a mistake, because I had hoped by going to Microtech I might be able to find like some other things, but it doesn't look like you can find Scroop in Microtech. If anything, Microtech is quite anti-Scroop. Now I know it's only been a little bit since the patch came through, so we can't expect everyone to be here, but at the same time, you'd think there would be some players, especially during a free fly, that would have explored this area, but there's just nothing. Like, in comparison to Aerial, where we had Scroop and everything, there's nothing. Fair enough. Right, well, we'll just have to call it on that one. So, well, yeah, we'll have to call it on that one and just sort of go, yep, there's not enough Scroop. Microtech's a bust at the moment. I mean, there are the moons, of course, to check out, as well as some other things, but at this point in time, there's really not enough activity in this area to justify Scrooping. So that's something to learn, definitely, because obviously going forward, it's like, well, I know where to operate. I'll either have to operate around Crusader with Daymar and shit, because Daymar, there was littered with bloody ships. Seriously, when I was playing with Nimbus not too long ago, like it was like about what, a week, about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, when it was 318. I think 318.1 may have just dropped. I'm not sure. I think it possibly might have been just as it dropped. There were so many wrecks around like a couple of zones, and there was like just trashes of the fuckers just being laid around. It was ridiculous. So maybe it's one of those things where I just got to be like, right, let's keep your ears peeled for Scrooping. And again, with the wipe and everything, obviously it's not that long since we got into it. So maybe if in like, what, a few months' time, once 318 drops, and in like, say, 2 months' time, you'll find loads more wrecks in the area. But we did find Scroop around Clio and Utrecht, so maybe, depending on the region, it could just be where I was trying to find shit. But yeah, it's not. It's been semi-successful. It's not been like amazingly successful, but it's been semi-successful. Right. So now let's test to see if we can find if we can land on. Let me have a look. See port. Well, we need to go to New Babbage, to be honest. And the trading area in New Babbage is a little bit of a trek, sadly. But it's a good way to wrap up the stream. I think New Babbage is probably the safest bet for us because it is also the fastest way to get to the trading hub. Because, like, what? I think. Yeah, if we travel to New Babbage, that's going to be... Yeah, that's like it's a lot faster to travel to New Babbage and get to the New Babbage location than anything. And who knows, maybe there'll be a ship or two that'll be destroyed, though we are in an armistice zone, so...
Quantum drive is now.
Yeah, no hope. Damn it all. Why do you do this to me? Fucking abandoned vehicles everywhere. I swear, once the armistice zone system goes out of effect, I'm going to be so happy. Like, the thing at the moment we've got, the problem at the moment is with the armistice zone system in effect, we can't really do anything against the against any like, you can't use weapons. Obviously, it's a good thing because naturally you don't want to be flying ships into a thing and causing damage and destruction and other things to other players. But at the same time, it's like I kind of want to be able to Scroop. And if there's an abandoned ship just sitting there doing fuck all and being a general nuisance to the rest of the one by being littered, then by the Golden Throne, I want to be able to Scroop that thing. Jeez, like, think of what it could be. Think of all the amount of money you could be able to save and all that other convenient excuses. Oh, God. Bad still. We will see. I mean, I said, I've learned my lesson in terms of, like, what is a good idea to Scroop in. And, again, I know it's a new, you know, again, it might just be that because the server hasn't been, you know, out long enough, finger quote, there's not as much activity. But I think probably it's a safe bet to say that the areas I should be patrolling if I want to Scroop is, like, Hurston, Crusader, Area 18. I think those are the areas that people are more likely to frequent. I personally have used to frequent a lot of area of Microtech because I love Microtech. It's a lovely part of this sector. If I had to say my absolute favorite location would be in terms of, like, spawning, and I actually did spend a long fucking time playing it, it would be Microtech. Microtech was one of my favorite locations to start with, and I used to operate from Microtech for quite some time. This patch, and probably a few subsequent patches into the future, I am operating from Area 18, because I no longer have ground vehicles, well, ground vics to concern myself with, so I'm not really in any particular... Like, I'm in no real particular rush to play, or I'm in no particular rush to head back to Microtech, considering it's not a very central location, shall we say. But if you're a new player in Star Citizen, without a shadow of a doubt, my first recommendation to you in terms of, like, where you should go, it's got to be Microtech. I mean, New Babbage itself is the easiest city to navigate. It's the best city to navigate because you have weapon stores, armor stores. You know, it's not so great on armor, I'll be brutal. You probably want to go up to the to Port Tressler for sort of decent armor, and that's one definite failing on that part. But then at the same time, it's a lot easier to navigate and figure out where to go. Whereas if you go to some places like Area 18, which I would say is the second best location to start, it can be a bit of a maze getting to the tram, and it's not very clear where the tram is in relation to everything else. Whereas in Microtech, it is everywhere in relation. Horizon is by just no. It is nowhere near the decent place to.
Thank you. And please visit
It
again.
is by no means the decent place to start, to start your experience in Star Citizen, because first of all, you have there's a high chance of you dying without even getting into your first ship, which is, a pretty impressive means. Despite all its glamour, it's probably one of the most irritating places to navigate because you have to figure out where the hell, there's no clear ways to go. You have absolutely, and if you're a new player and have absolutely no idea what you're doing, how to play, what objectives there are, or anything, you're just in a constant circle trying to figure out the fact that actually what you need to do is actually is go to the nearest spaceport, but you have no idea where the nearest spaceport is, and there is no easy line to take with that. You're just stuck. You're never being able to get out because there is no easy way out, and it's just this never-ending cycle of potential, of frustration because you just don't know where the fuck you're going, and it's a real shame. And I think and then of course when you do finally find your way out of there, you're stuck spending forever just getting yourself into app mode. So no, Horizon is by no means is possibly the worst location you could start. Lawville is the second worst location. It was the worst until Horizon came along, because the problem with Lawville is it's not difficult to navigate completely. I mean, it's not easy,
To the ASOP
but it's not
retrieval
difficult,
system.
because there are clearly marked routes and everything. So if you're a little bit stuck, you can easily get lost, but you can easily find your way back out again. So it's by no means the worst sort of factor, if you will. The problem you find with Lawville is you don't have any weapons purchasing locations, because obviously it's a slave world, so they don't want to have anything that might encourage the locals to dissent. But so instead you've got, why do I have the feeling that the ship, I feel like I'm in a weird skew view, even though, anyway, so in terms of navigation, it's a bit difficult to say the least. And then when you do finally get towards when you do get to the into the spaceport and then out of trying to take off, you've got a really, really, really cramped and a really, really, really difficult hangar bay area, which is kind of difficult to say the least to navigate out of. Though there is apparently a patch, I think it's in 3.19 in fact, that we may see that is apparently Lawville 2.0 that's coming out, which is apparently fixing a few things and redesigning the whole thing. So I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. It might in fact be, it might completely redesign. It's apparently a whole redesign of the whole thing, like a whole redesign of Lawville. So it could be a good version. It could in fact be the best version of Lawville, which could replace Area 18 as a better location. Now, under no circumstance, you're going to have to go some, in my opinion, before you really break what New Babbage is, because New Babbage is so good. It's got the fastest tram system, it's got the most visible systems, it's the easiest to understand. There is no question of what you can do, where you need to go. It is so easy to understand what you need to do. Now, in terms of, I'd say, in terms of beautiful views, Horizon naturally takes the cake. It easily takes the cake for the most beautiful location, because my god, the sounds, the scenes, the sights, it's wonderful. If you're into clouds. For me, I'd say Lawville, weirdly enough, despite my absolute disgust for the place because of Hurston Dynamics, it's a beautiful location because I like grunge. I like, cyberpunk, that kind of everything is shit. and you know it. Like, that is, in my opinion, what makes this place nice. If you're a fan of Apple, then this place probably makes you, makes you feel good inside because you have all the brainwashing and propaganda. But, if you're a fan of Apple, then this place, Microtech and New Babbage will definitely go to it. In terms of aesthetics, I would rate it in maybe about third to fourth, like close to the end, because, again, I'm not a fan of the promenade. No, that's the club. It's over here. So, if we're talking about, like, if we're talking about, services, I think it's planetary services, or is it, no, hang on, no, I need to just go across, because that's where the trading hub is, because you've got a Mega Pro in the front section, the Apple fucking store, yeah, there we go. Alright, Captain Mangle. Thank you very much for watching. Yes, if you catch me on Saturday, I'll be streaming from about 2 p.m. GMT or 2 p.m. UTC 0. So, right. And so we only have one bit of Scroop inside our thing. There you go, one of those. So, sell. Okay, that's pretty valuable. 7.69k, 7k for just one. So I'm definitely feeling that's going to be quite useful. Not showing my paint colors, but yeah. But yeah, so there we go. Purchase has been successful. I've sold it, and we've now got a whole host of things. Oh, look at that, stems. Boros, copper. We're out of stock. We can fill them up. But there we go. So you can buy all these stuff as well. Nice. But yeah, so I'll see you guys. Yeah, sweet. So I'll see you on Saturday, Mr. Mangle. Hope to see you there. And this is where we're going to wrap up today. Look, Microtech. So yes, this is where we're going to wrap things up for today. So thank you all very much for watching. So it's been a bit of an educational experience. My original plan of scrooping has been slightly altered to help out with the mining sort of thing, but hey, I'm always in to help as much people as we can, because if we know now about the mining situation, then at least I know how to potentially fix it, counter it in the future. So in the next episode on Saturday, we're going to be pushing down towards Hurston, maybe around Arcorp, that sort of region, just to see if we can find more Scroop, because I do want to do more Scrooping. This time, on Saturday, I'm going to try and go for a bit of a longer stream, because normally it'd be about like 2 hours. We did extend it by about 3 hours today, but we are going to try and see if we can extend the Scrooping. Oh, that is clear. GG. But no, like, we are going to try and see if we can get the Scroop to, try and see if we can get as much Scroop as possible. If we can get, like, more than half the Scroop SCUs cargo-wise, I'll call that I'll call that a happy day, for sure. So anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. I'm going to go take a seat, enjoy a very well-earned rest for what is essentially quite not much work. It's a very silly looking chair, but hey, I look good in it. No, my character's like, no, I refuse to sit on this chair. So anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. This is Mr. Jaeger signing out. Have a good one.